Hello again, and today I'm looking at the Nikon 24 to 120 millimeter zoom lens. That's constant f4 aperture lens throughout the zoom range, and this is the lens you would get with the D750 if you bought the D750 kit. This is the lens that would come with it at a steep discount. If you buy it separately, I believe it's still a little over $1,000. In late 2015. So this is pretty much how it zooms out. It probably, I'd say it just about doubles the length of the lens when you zoom out. And it's not really prone to zoom creep. It's not going to creep down if you're pointing it down, and if you're pointing it straight up, actually also it doesn't want to come back down. It's a little bit, I wouldn't say it's stiff, but it's got plenty of resistance there, so keeps it from creeping down or up, depending on which way you're pointing the camera. Comes with the lens hood, of course the front and rear lens caps, and a little pouch. The filter thread is 77 millimeter on the front, which I believe is the same as the 24 to 70 f2.8, so that's kind of convenient if you have some of those other lenses, and maybe the 70 to 200 is a 77 millimeter lens filter thread. I'm not sure, I'd have to check, but either way, if you're buying like circular polarizer or whatever, some of the filters, you'd be able to use the same one. But it is a VR lens, so it has vibration reduction or image stabilization, however you want to call that. I know different manufacturers call it different things. Nikon calls it VR. It does have a switch here for the manual focus or autofocus, and actually you can manually override the autofocus if you're in the M/A mode. So if you set it that way and you focus, and then you can turn the focus ring after it's already focused to adjust it, make a fine adjustment before you actually take the picture. The VR on and off right here, and the type of VR, normal or active. Normal is what you'd be in most of the time. Active, Nikon says you'd want to use that if you're holding a camera like over your head, or if you're walking, or if you're driving in a car, you're moving in a car and you want to take pictures like that using the VR. That's, a case where you'd use that. Normally you'd just be in the normal mode. It's made in Thailand. It says it's got the nanocrystal coat there. That's about it. There's really not much to it. I wish the focus ring was a little bit bigger. I mean, once you get used to where it is, it's not that bad. But the zoom ring is really wide and easy to get to, and it does have the ultrasonic, or the what Nikon calls the what do they call it? Silent wave motor. It does focus pretty quick, but it's in video recording you're not going to really want to use autofocus, because you'll hear that buzzing when you focus, and it's not like some of the Micro Four Thirds lenses or Fuji lenses where you pretty much have totally silent autofocusing when you're doing video. So if you're doing video with this, and there comes Jerry, you'll want to use manual focusing. You would want to use manual focusing anyway, or autofocus anyway, with D750, for example, because it's still just like a contrast detect autofocus, and when you're recording videos, it'll just kind of pump back and forth before it locks focus, and it's a little bit slow. And I assume they just don't put that the autofocus, the phase detect and other focus technology on the sensor itself like they do in some of the mirrorless cameras. Like Nikon has the Nikon 1 cameras, and that's very fast and reliable autofocus during live view, but for Nikon's DSLRs it's not that way yet. Anyway, that's enough about the lens, and it's really not too much to it. I just want to say one other thing about some people say it's got too much distortion and vignetting. If you ask me, it's really not a problem at all. I think, first of all, the lens is plenty sharp. I'm really happy with it. As far as the vignetting goes and any distortion, I never really see it because I shoot RAW and I import all my photos into Lightroom, Adobe Lightroom, and use the lens profile that Adobe has for the lenses, from Nikon, and it automatically takes care of all the distortion and any vignetting also. So I never really see it. You might see a little bit of that if you're shooting, JPEG, and maybe you don't have the settings set right in the camera. There is a distortion control settings in the camera, and there's a vignetting control in the camera, so that should take care of most of all any vignetting and distortion you'd see, if you're just shooting JPEG right out of the camera. So anyway, I shoot RAW, and like I said, I don't really see that because as soon as I import the pictures, Lightroom, and I apply my preset for it, then Lightroom takes care of all that for me. But I'll put some pictures in the link down below. There's a gallery with quite a few pictures. I'll be adding more as I have the lens longer. But as far as what I feel about it, I'm actually very happy with it. And for me, I think it was a good purchase. And I think in some ways, some people have some unfair criticisms about it. But as far as I can tell, this is, what Nikon would consider one of their professional line lenses. Is a little gold ring there, and does have the nano crystal coating. So, alright, well, that's it. Thank you for watching.